Okay, so nothing super fancy here. What I'm doing in this particular video is setting some tile backsplashes in the house, in the kitchen. I didn't do anything fancy for my tile. I just went with a standard 3x6 subway tile in white. My grout spaces were 1/8 inch, so just standard. I've grown to enjoy the look of subway tile. It looks good. It's simple, clean, pretty much goes with anything. The grout I went with is also white, so same thing, clean, simple, matches everything. Which for this particular house is pretty much what I needed. So I did a backsplash, as you can see here, behind the counter. Then in the next part of the video, I will be doing a backsplash behind where the stove goes. So right now in this particular scene, I'm going to have to fit tile around an outlet and a switch box there. I had an angle grinder with a diamond blade on it, so I was able to cut weird angles or corners into my tiles. I did end up buying a tile cutter as well to do just standard cuts. Setting tiles pretty simple. I just laid down the thin set, push on the, make sure the tile fits, push on it nice and tight so it stays, then set the little gap spacers or tile spacers so you get the grout line nice and straight. Now for my backsplash here behind where the stove goes, I kinda went backwards. I went from the top down. Usually go from the bottom up. This eliminates any sliding of the tile from their own weight being pulled down. If you go from the bottom up, that kind of eliminates that because their own weight sort of squishing them down to keep the grout lines tighter, let's say. But because I wanted to have the full tiles on top as opposed to having to cut half tiles to fit in on top, I went from the top down to then leave the half cut tiles on the bottom so you don't ever really see them. I probably could have did some more thinking and maybe did a little bit more math to figure out how to make full tiles from the top all the way to the bottom or vice versa, but oh well. It worked out. One of the tiles slid down, none of them popped off, so it worked out for me this time. So yeah. I have finally reached the final piece. There you have it. There is a stove backsplash. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but it's all subway tile. Also, while I was working on this, I had a friend who works in the HVAC industry change the thermostat that's in the other room. Click the annotation or slide, whatever they call it these days, over in the top right if you want to see that video. But yeah, the only thing that's left is grout. So one day after work I'll come by and grout that and grout the backsplash to your right. So I did the grout I ended up doing the grout off camera. Doing grout work was far messier than I expected it, which is the main reason I did it off camera, because I got into it thinking I'll start and set up the camera and show you what's going on, but it was just way too messy for me to try about with the camera. But I got grout work on there. I've peeled most of the tape off that I could get out easily. The tile work definitely came out well. You know, I guess it's hard for tile to not look good, but that's it. There's now basically a backsplash for behind the stove, and of course the normal backsplash you'd expect behind the sink.